Hi, my name is Lee, and for the purposes of this assignment, I will be presenting to a job panel with the purposes of obtaining a job in theater production. To start, leadership, in my opinion, is an opportunity to grow, learn, and inspire, and I hope to show you that I value leadership as a chance to do good in the world and pursue a passion in theater. To start, I am going to show you how the KSPD, the Know, See, Plan, Do model, was used in my role as producer for Laurier Musical Theater this semester. I have been in this role since May of 2021, and it is currently still happening with a show at the end of January. So to start my role, I had to have a one-on-one kind of icebreaker meeting with the former producer. So his name was Ben. We met before I officially started my role to discuss advice and the process of being a producer. So I acquired knowledge from him on what to successfully implement in my role. I took his advice into account in my own role and saw how it applied to me. The biggest change in that area was that his musical had been virtually and mine is going to be in person. So I'm adapting his advice into my own requirements. I planned out a detailed rehearsal schedule with my team and decided to go against his advice that I should not be present at many rehearsals and attended them anyway. His thought process was that I should be a figure who is above kind of the rest of the production team, and somebody who people can come to with issues with the production team without feeling uncomfortable. I believed that it was more important for me to be part of the community. So for the due, I made myself present at rehearsal as part of the community. I appreciated being part of the group and wanted everyone to feel comfortable with me, and felt that that was the best course of action despite the knowledge I had acquired from Ben that proved otherwise. So for the next section, Model the Way, I have included a quote from our textbook that basically highlights that as a student leader, you are always on the stage. I found this ironic because as the producer, my role is behind the stage, but essentially, people are always watching and taking note of your actions and testing your credibility. So by this token, it is very important to establish your values and set up your standards right from the beginning. We all have a shared love of theater and excitement around the show that fuels us to go to rehearsal and get things done and rehearse on our own time. And so this is a passion project for all of us, especially after the past pandemic that is restricted live performance. So using that tool of excitement and getting everyone ready to be back on stage, it has helped me a lot in my role to motivate the cast and the crew to get work done. For my example, I attended a dance rehearsal for Laurier Musical Theater's production, in which the main lead was unavailable. So I had to stand in as a placeholder for him while he was absent. What a placeholder does is they stand to look at blocking and just basically fills up the space so that you know what the show will look like when the lead is back in their position. Rather than just standing, I chose to be part of the cast and learn the choreography with them. In that way, I could ensure that we were going through this process together, and it brought me down to a level where I could be part of the community and part of the cast, and we were joking and dancing and having a good time. So overall, just showing my excitement on the job reaffirmed these values that I had put in place right from the beginning. And I set the example of enthusiasm and excitement, learning choreography, even though I am a terrible dancer, to show everyone else that they should be putting in equally as much effort. I have included a graphic here from the textbook that indicates that leaders who seek feedback about their behavior have the most engagement with people. So in my role, I talk to people a lot. I seek to hear their opinions, and I want to let them know that I'm always there for whatever they may need. Especially in the example of this dance rehearsal, I was able to communicate with the crew and the cast members in order to find out if this dance was feasible, and take in all of their suggestions. I answered questions. A lot of people have COVID questions, so being part of the group that day made it a lot easier for people to feel comfortable coming to me with questions. So establishing myself as setting an example made people more encouraged to send feedback, and also I have received positive feedback that has inspired me to continue working on the job. Moving on to leadership, as defined by our course terms, the most important part for leadership, in my opinion, was prioritizing relationships. Fostering a relationship between myself and my team was the most important element in my success as a producer. I indicated this through the example of the dance rehearsal, and have proven throughout the rest of the commitments how I am doing this in my everyday life. I am always there for people who need me. I respond quickly and efficiently to requests, text messages, and other such inquiries, so that I am always available for my staff and my cast members if they need me. Moving on to my experience with Dario e la Diablesse, a Caribbean musical that I had worked at with No Strings Theater this summer as their stage manager. Under Inspire a Shared Vision, I included a quote from the textbook that outlines that exemplary students have a passion for something other than fame or fortune. I really took that along with my definition of leadership as an opportunity to grow and inspire, as a tool for me throughout my stage manager experience, as this was a show that sought to highlight different cultures and genres and diverse cast members. Dario e la Diablesse allowed me to make an actual tangible change in society by including more stories through the Many Voices, Many Stories program, where I was able to learn a lot about other cultures and also to share my own culture through discussion and my position as a leader. We were so lucky to have the opportunity to share culturally diverse material on stage, and I highlighted this in the playbill as I included stories about the program and what we aim to do long term in society as we implement more stories and more theater like Dario e la Diablesse. I scheduled dance workshops and history segments where people could learn more about other cultures and the culture specifically at Dario e la Diablesse. I was very lucky to be able to be part of this production, and I reinforced this shared purpose throughout the workshop, as everyone had their own interesting and unique backgrounds that brought a lot of information and exciting stories into our workshop. The last segment of my poster is the styles. What I found stood out to me the most was to listen and engage others. I view myself as a democratic leader and think that my experience during No Strings Theater's production of Dario e la Diablesse, I highlighted this. I worked under very well-established members of theater society, including Ricardo Keynes Douglas and Denise Williams. These people have changed my life completely, and I have taken away so many lessons from them that I've implemented into my own production now at Laurier Musical Theater, and also throughout the production at No Strings Theater. I view leadership as a partnership between the team and the cast and crew, and I hope that every good leader also has the qualities to be a good follower and take accountability for their actions, but as well learn from others and grow in their roles. To conclude this presentation, based on the criteria from our course content on defining a leader and the different segments that I've included in this presentation, I would conclude that my previous experience has successfully taught me how to be a good leader and helped me to develop my own personal leadership style. Thank you so much for your time.